Alright, so you're in position for the perfect headshot. Your crosshairs all lined up for a one-hit kill. The person you're aiming at is 100 meters away, at a downhill slope of 45 degrees. Simple. You've hit this 1,000 times, and you're wondering how it would be in real life. No? Like it all? Okay, that's just me. Regardless, hello, I'm GXT. I'd like to tell you why every game that Sniper's wrong. So, a sniper, much like every other gun, fires bullets. Now, to understand why games get snipers wrong, you have to understand how games know you hit something. There are two ways a game figures out you hit something. First being called hit scan. When a player fires, the game immediately traces an invisible line called a ray path from the weapon's barrel or the player's view direction to the environment. The game checks if the ray intersects with any objects, particularly the simplified geometric shapes, aka hitboxes, that surround character models. If an intersection occurs, the hit is registered instantly and damage is applied. The method provides immediate feedback and responsiveness, as there is no travel time for a bullet. Many of the shooter titles you will play will have used hit scan. It's a cheap, effective, and simple way to calculate hits. If you've ever played classic titles like Doom, Wolfenstein 3D, or even Team Fortress, you have used hit scan. While hit scan is great, it's nowhere near accurate to real life. For example, it takes time for targets to hit a bullet, as well as being affected by air resistance and environmental factors like humidity and moisture. For a more accurate bullet, you'd want to use something called a projectile. A physical object, the projectile is spawned in the game world with a defined velocity and trajectory. The object travels through the game over time, and the subject is subject to physics, like gravity and potential wind. The game continuously checks for collisions as the projectile moves, and a hit is registered when the projectile's hitbox intersects with another object's hitbox. Now, I was originally gonna give an explanation on the math of how a bullet of the same caliber from the first clip would act under the same conditions and how make that shot in real life. But now I realize how incredibly dangerous and maybe illegal that is. So I'm just gonna cut that 5-minute clip out of the video entirely. And I'm just gonna say how video games get snipers wrong. Why video games get sniper wrong. Same thing. Video games, more specifically FPS shooters, get snipers wrong because they underestimate their penetration power and range. Video games tend to portray snipers as long-range shotguns, meaning they are hard-hitting but lack the fire rate of SMGs and assault rifles, when really, snipers are nowhere near as fast to fire. For example, a well-trained marksman can get, on average, 15 to 20 shots off in a minute with a bolt-action rifle, unlike the TF2 sniper who can get 40 shots off in a minute. Another games get wrong is the range of guns. They either let the bullet travel infinitely till it hits something, or the range is severely reduced, as with the TF2 snipers have infinite range versus real life, where the high end is 1,000 meters. Games like Fortnite have the opposite, with the longest record shot is only half that. Half the real life high end being 500 meters. And this is not the devs or your computer's fault. It's a purposeful limitation of a video game. If snipers worked the way they do in real life, there wouldn't be anything you could do to stop them. For example, the real life 1903 Springfield rifle, bolt action, unofficial record stands at 9 inches of unarmored concrete and 4 inches of reinforced concrete. So put in simple terms, not only would it fuck you and the horse you rode in on, but it might just also nail the neighbor's dog the next house So if you get shot in the chest, you should be fine, right? Wrong! Even lower calibers like .308 can ice your ass. Video games have the most wrong out of anything mentioned in this video. You get hit in the chest by a sniper round, you can't just tank 2 more shots. In fact, the reason they say aim for the chest instead of for the head in real life is because the head is such a small target, you're more likely to miss. Whilst hitting the chest, more likely to hit something vital. So yes, but seeing as video games aren't real life, they had to figure out some way to make things more balanced. So usually, the only way to ice out someone with one shot is with a headshot. You can usually do this in most games. You can usually also tank 2 to 3 rounds before you go down. But that's fair. But it is also unrealistic. So in conclusion, video games could not be more wrong about snipers. But it's not because of programmers, writers, storyboarders, artists, publishers, and the brands that release these games are dumb or lazy. It's because real life weapons are inherently unbalanced. And although the way balancing is done is not perfect for a sniper, it's still one of the most popular weapons in gaming, even after all its nerfs and buffs. Even being one of my favorite weapons to use. And one of the most unique weapons in gaming has probably been the most fun I've ever had explaining something. And with that being said, I thank you for watching and listening to my rants and jumbles of language. If you want me to make more videos like this, if we can get this video to 25 likes, the top comment recommending a weapon will be the next one I cover. Thank you.